Hi, I'm MTG and welcome to my channel where I waste my wildcards so you don't have to. And I'm excited for today's episode. It's a little different than how I've usually done it. Typically, I have like a movie or a meme or some sort of like pun that I'm trying to, I don't know, pull off as a theme for the deck. But today, I thought I'd challenge myself a little bit by just playing commons and uncommons. So nothing has like rares or mythics, and that limit I'd say it limited me quite a bit because I didn't have a lot of staples like certain board wipes that I usually like using for specific colors or specific creatures like certain dragons and stuff like that that I really love adding into decks. So it was a good way to challenge myself and think about like problem solving and how the stack works a little bit different. Just because again having like a limited card pool and plays that I could make in ways that I could protect myself were a lot different. So going to show you the deck list now. I'll see you in a second. All right, here's the deck. So I was trying to think about like mechanics that I really like and what I felt had decent amount of removal or protection just based on the fact that I didn't have like board wipes to kind of deal with out of control board states, like if someone's making like a million skewed swarms or they just get huge card or board advantage. And sorry if you hear my cat screeching in the background, I do not know what she wants. Uh, anyways, so with that, again, because I didn't really have any board wipes that were open to me, I tried to do something like Pestilent Haze, where at least if someone's going out of control with a ton of like 1/1 tokens or 2/2 even, or something that I can do to kind of hit all those crazy token generators. Hi, Miss Kerrigan. That at least this was here to like, um, you know, sweep the board a bit there. Obviously not doing too much to bigger creatures, but it's also like a good card to drop too. Like let's say you attack, the player and they block, and you know that one of their creatures they're blocking with is only going to have 2 like toughness at the end. Sometimes you can get rid of a tough creature by dropping this afterwards, and in your second main phase. The other thing too to kind of help at least manage the board a bit, or at least what I thought would help if I needed to like clear the board so I could swing in and attack, was Sea God Scorn. Again, not like super great, board wipes or anything like that, but at least it's something to kind of help, mitigate boards that might be super ahead. So put that in there just to try to, have some essence of removal. Another couple of synergies that I really liked are just from what zombies can do in general. There's a lot of zombie cards that can give, each other advantages as far as making each other stronger, replacement effects, things where you get value. And a large part of what I felt like I was getting value from was Exploit. So Exploit has some really fun stuff that I hadn't really thought about since I did like a draft. Like I think the last thing I did was like a paper draft for a lot of these cards that I haven't really seen since because I just never really thought to add them in a lot of decks. But the Exploit trigger is cool because you can choose whether or not you want to activate it as well. So let's say you don't have anything on your board, you want to exploit it too. You can just skip those exploit triggers and, have at least a body on the board if you need it. And then for a lot of these, like I was able to bring back, some sort of value. So in this case, like bringing back a targeted removal spell that I might have needed to deal with like a problem on the board. And sorry, Kerrigan is out and running around again. So stuff like that. And then this one I always really enjoy, flashback effects, where maybe there's a commander that I don't necessarily have targeted removal for, but they played it just by its lonesome. I can drop a flesh bag, get them to sacrifice a tough creature. Sometimes it can whiff just because if they have a token out or some way to make a bunch of tokens, they just sack that. But I was also hoping to play into Bastion of Remembrance, where you can drain, or Blood Artist, again, where you can drain for some more damage. And these two were really good for kind of helping with, like, okay, they have a big board state, they only have like 2 health left. oh wait, I can just kill all of my creatures and I'll, you know, finish that last little bit that I couldn't quite, you know, finish off with like an aggro zombie horde. Ghoulish Procession I like a lot too, because if someone does board wipe, you know, I get something back for that. And then if I need like a creature that dies from targeted removal, you know, XYZ thing, I am now getting a zombie token that I can use for like exploit sack fodder and stuff like that. I also try to put in some sack fodder that would give me stuff back. So in this case, this one's going to be doing damage. We all know and love this one. -1/-1, or treasure token when it dies. This one essentially replaces itself with another body. And then same here, this one replaces itself with another body, and it gets, you know, the added +1/+1 from Nerfy. So with Schnarf Narf over here, if you know that, I think that's Thundercats reference. That's all I hear whenever I read this card is Narf Narf. But yeah, this was really cool because it essentially lets you get around paying commander tax, because you can decline putting it back to the command zone and bring it back into the battlefield tapped with 3 snow mana. So that's pretty fun there. And yeah, so that's essentially the overview of the deck. I did add in like a few other things that I thought just played into the synergies well. Like obviously more zombies, but then I had Sir Conrad the Grim, again for just like draining effects, and was really good to do like extra damage to people who are trying to mill. I did try to add in just some bigger zombie bodies. This card's good just for like exile effects as well. And then some flyers, because there's times where I needed to block a dragon or something else that was on the board. So have some little zombos in there too. It was also good for gaining advantage. Sometimes I couldn't, you know, aggro my way through a board state because it's late game and everyone has like awesome creatures, and I just have these like 2/2 zombies. And maybe my drain effect was removed. Having like a flyer was really helpful for just getting that last little bit of tick damage, or even just keeping myself alive a little bit longer because I had a way to stop flyers. So yeah, that's the overview of the deck, and had fun with it. And yeah, let's go check it out. See you in a sec. Alright. Is it Renata the Demigod or something? Yeah, Called to the Hunt. We'll keep this because we have an arcane signet. So what she does is she gets power based on devotion, and then each other creature enters with a +1/+1 counter. So I'm guessing they're going to do like stompy big things, as one does. Let's do arcane. Let's do that out of order. I was just so excited to put stuff down. And then we get our serrated scorpion. We have arcane out, so there's our blue source. And then I'm thinking, if we do hit our land drop, let's do this, because Autumn of Augur can give them quite a bit of advantage. So we still get damage in, force them to sack, and we have a flyer, so that's not too bad. Just to keep them from getting too much momentum. Ooh, sweet. And now we got Bastion, so we'll get rewarded when we start doing exploity fun things. A little bit of our synergy going on here. It's pretty nice. And then we have a removal as well. Sweet. Okay. So I'm thinking we'll want to put down the Skull Scab. And we'll sacrifice this. Get a Zombo. So now we have some sack fodder stuff going on here, which is pretty nice. And then if they try to get rid of like any of these creatures, we can also use Feign Death to bring them back. I think this upcoming turn, though, if we can hit our land drop, we probably want to put down Nerfy. So we didn't hit our land drop. I'm just going to hit their commander to slow down what they're doing a bit. And felt like I had to use Heartless Act now because they do put counters on stuff. So kind of negates the specialness of that removal spell as well. And then I think too, if they put something bigger down, we can put Dreamtail Heron down and then get stuff to have flying and draw a card. Yeah, so we got that. It doesn't have reach, so that's a plus. We did hit our land drop, but I think we want to go over the head, so we'll do this. We'll mutate over. Oh, sweet, and we got a removal spell, so we're gonna go here and here. And then we'll keep the zombie back just as like a chump blocker. I wonder how Feigned Death works, though, if we have something with mutate on it. I wonder if it goes... only one of them goes back to the battlefield. I'll take this here and block it. And I'll use Hero's Downfall to take out the Froghemoth because it's a pain in the butt. So we'll deal 1 damage. Nice. Okay, we hit another land. That feels good. We're gonna hit that. And then we'll go ahead and attack. And I think we should be good unless they get something in the air, then that'll be sad. Hopefully they don't have any flyers. Knock on wood. Fingers crossed. Crossing fingers! Can we do this? Can we close it out? Today has been a little rough. Okay, they can gain life. That is not good. I'm gonna let them do 6. I was really hoping we might have had a little bit of the advantage there. Is this still a zombie? It might still be a zombie. Okay, so we'll put down Snarf Nerf. And boop, boop. Still try to hit them in the air. I was kind of hoping that maybe it would boost, but I think it's because we mutated over the top of it. We're not getting that. Okay, resolve. Still a possibility of winning this. Don't jinx yourself. Come on. Don't do anything. Don't gain life. Let's feign death. Resolve. Should come back, right? Yeah. So we drain them for 1. Oh, we got both back. That is pretty sweet. What do we want to exploit? Do we want to exploit anything? Because we need a blocker. We do need a blocker. I don't think we do need a blocker. I'll just decline it because I'm being worried here. And actually, we can do that again for Nerfy. Okay. So we're going to pass. We're going to do this. 1 blocker. And then... yeah, do the same thing here. Ooh. Drain them for 1. Oh, I thought we did something fun here. What do we do? I think we declined that, right? Yeah. Okay. I was worried that like maybe something I misunderstood what that card was saying. Okay. Well, I think we did it. Good game. Snarfy nerfs. Resolve. Nice. Woo! Good game, dude. That actually was the first game that I felt like everything lined up for that deck. Like it was supposed to do what it needed to do. Bolu. Not good. Not a ton of plays here. But I think are going to be helpful because we don't have a blue mana source. So this is a little better. But I do worry with Volo us not having kind of earlier plays like creature-wise. Man. Or just nothing good at all. Okay, maybe I should have kept the other hand. So I'll put you back. You back. And put you back. We're gonna go down to 4, baby. Oh no, we're at 5. But still, that sucks. Need to take another look at the stack. At least we are hitting land drops. We'll kill the heck out of this Volo when it drops. Very nice. Let's put down our commander. And I kind of like the idea of just enchanting Narfi and then destroying Volo if they happen to play that. They should only be able to bounce it back, I think. I'm just going to play that now. We will... I think we're going to hold for now. Because we want to make sure we get value out of what we got here, and I don't really see too much value happening if we exploit this now. Plus we're leaving up removal. I'll just take that out now. Slow them down a bit while we're trying to figure out what we're doing with life. And they don't have any way to protect that right now because they didn't leave their... Oh. Well, unless they hexproof it. But we'll do this next. So we're going to enchant. And we'll target Volo. And we got another removal. Just mostly don't want them to keep copying huge scary creatures a lot. Would be funny though if Narfi just kept at it all alone. I'm gonna just hit this again, because again I don't want them to put down big spooky creatures. Though it might be time to put Felsinger down here. And then I'll just have it exploit itself, even though that Death Touch is probably going to help us later, but we need more cards. I'm just going to attack for another 5. And now we got, at least we can put this down and then exploit that and get back another removal spell. So we can Volo like insanely expensive. I don't know if we're going to have enough to do all of that in the one turn. I don't think we will. Yeah. So we're going to put down this. Drop this. Are you thinking about countering it? What's going on? That went through. Target player. Just, I think, maybe reading what it did. Ooh, yeah. Put that in the graveyard. I love the sludge monster. Too bad it's a rare. Sadly, does not have a home in this deck. No! Okay. Well, we're gonna attack. Okay. Decline. So then we can just pay it back next turn. Because I don't think they would block with Volo. I can put something in my graveyard if you want. I'm okay with that. I'm guessing it's a land or something. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I wonder if it's a land. Oh, no, it's not. It's just something they didn't care about. So I think we just go aggro still. I don't care if we trade. We just are trying to get through Because again, I think we used up most of our removal in the beginning here, just trying to keep them from being able to do much. And they do have Volo, which is going to be scary. Gaining some life back. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what is really going to help us a lot here. I guess this. And let's just attack. Let's do it. Let's stay aggressive. I don't think they're going to want to trade Volo again. Prosperous Innkeeper could trade with the Discordant Piper, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure if they're going to do it just because the life gain. And they're probably going to put something super big and scary down now. Let's do hand. That's nice. And I'm not really sure how we're going to get around it at this point now, unless I draw into that like board wipe where I can bounce stuff back. Sure. That'd be a really funny top deck. Okay. We'll put you down. You down. And we'll have to pass. And then next turn we might be able to exploit and bounce whatever token copy they make. I'm not sure. They have probably really scary things in their hand now. And we're kind of running out of fuel here. Oh, nice. Let's try this first. We will just hit that. Oh, that's gaining life. Darn it, I meant to draw a card. Okay. So next, we're going to see if they're going to trade. They're probably tired of their commander dying, so I'm thinking they might not. Ah, they are. Okay. So we'll just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we'll have to get rid of you. Maybe you. That's a really nice card. Scared of you. Is that not enough? You like removal, but you're kind of exploitable. Undead Augur. That's not bad. And Queen of Dust isn't too bad either. It just sucks I have to keep exiling my own graveyard when I actually want to keep my graveyard around. I'm just really worried about like the next terrible thing they put in front. Thankfully, the Volo is so expensive now that it might just be more worth it to play like whatever crazy creature they have. They probably have like old knot bones and stuff in this deck too, so we are okay again if they just want to attack us for a ton of damage. I kind of hope they do, but they probably are going to try to play a bit smart here and only go in with one. Okay, so how do we want to do this? I'm thinking we can put Undead Augur in. Let's exploit the Undead Augur. Man, again, if we would have had like some sort of drain going here, I think we would have been able to get them, like Bastion of Remembrance. So I'm gonna exploit Undead Augur, assuming they don't have like an instant response. We'll put this out so it gets rid of the token copy. And then we'll go in for the damage here for 4. So I'll put him down to 4. And then, in theory, if they play Volo again, which I hope they don't, we could try to feed the Swarm it and then have kind of go wide. I don't even know if that counts as going wide, but go around them, I guess. I don't know. This is a little intense, though. I wonder if they have anything to react, because they have some instant in their hand. Oh, maybe it's Hydra? Oh, I forgot about the Hydra. I also forgot if I put in Field of Ruin to deal with those cards. Yeah, boost that up. Oh, they did it after the blocker had already been there. Well, that's something to keep an eye on, at least. Ooh. We'll just put it in my hand. Man, I don't know. I think I only have one card in this deck that might be able to close out the win, and we'd have to be really lucky. It's Bounce Spell. It's like return 3 target permanents. We might also have to put that back just so we can stay alive a bit longer. Because it's like creating a copy every turn. Yeah, so I think we got it, right? It's down, it did take a lot of damage. And then let's do Pestilent Haze to get rid of Volo. And then let's put down the Hobble Zombie. And they'll be able to block that 1 damage, so it doesn't matter too much. Oh boy. This is close. Okay. Ooh, my heart's racing. Okay, we got a Swamp. I'm going to put down Hairfeed. We will exile you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5. Gain some life. And then attack. Whew. Okay. I think they have to leave it back to block and then maybe play Volo again unless they got... Oh, goodness! We won! Oh my god, that was really intense. Good game. Well, made some adjustments based on the inability to really get things going earlier in the game. Kind of like no turning point again once like getting past the start. There was just not really a solid way to close out the game for like the last damage or 2 that was needed. So mix things up in hopes that maybe we can put in a little bit more of like bounce removal stuff. That's something I'm struggling a little bit with, is we'll run into people building up like a ton of tokens and then I don't really have a way to kind of deal with them at all. Okay. So we could do 2 things, right? Leave up this to remove one of these guys, but I think what we'll want to do is just save that for Tovalor. And we'll just put this in the graveyard. It's essentially like milling them, but I kind of like that you get the option to do it. So we won't attack here, and then if these two die, we'll just trade with those guys. Oh, Tenacious Pup is so damn cute. I love Tenacious Pup. Okay. So, there we go. This is what I was saving my removal for. And then we'll hit them. And we'll just hold back. Hopefully we'll get our other mana drop too. They'll have enough if they can hit their land drop this turn to play it again. Okay. And I think we want card draw. So we ended up getting life. Oh well. Yeah, we'll just hang back. No attacks. They got a pretty good board state going. Okay. Too bad this is not instant speed. Ouchies. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is this. Trade there. They'll have trample. So I'm gonna be taking a lot there though. Yeah, let's just do that. And then we'll just let them trade. Damage. Damage. We'll decline. Resolve. Boop. Just want to make sure I'm not like clicking through on stuff that I shouldn't be. We'll leave this here. Again, I think it's still more beneficial to leave up our removal for Tovor. And then with this Jailbreaker, we're going to get Nerf back. So I'm okay with blocking here. We'll hit them for some damage. We'll decline that so our guy comes back. I'm going to drop this land down. And I think we'll just end up putting this down so we have a solid body again. And then when they put down Tovor, I think it makes sense for us to remove it with Feed the Swarm. It's a 5/5. Deals 2 damage to each target. Okay. Well, there goes some of my life being there. And it had Menace, so that's really nice. This is definitely a problem. How much mana is it? 5? Yeah. One downside of Feed the Swarm for sure. And then we'll bring back. And we'll just hang back because we need a body. Oh. Gaining life sounds good, but I kind of like the idea of scrying because I think that'll help us more in the long run. Let's put that down. It's a good chump blocker / will help us draw cards, and we can also use village rights. That is also a very good card. More tokens. Okay, they're holding back. Let's put down Cloudkins here. Okay, we hit a land drop. I'm still thinking it makes more sense to hold on to village rights. And then sack Cloudkin when we declare our blocker. They do all have trample, so maybe that doesn't matter as much.
This is your hunt now.
I wonder if they're just waiting. So let's do this now. This might help us. I don't know. Yeah, let's do this. So they're at least bigger. And then we won't do the exploit because we're a bit low health and I'm scared. Thankfully, everything got a little weaker, but again, if they're gonna play Tovor, it doesn't terribly matter right now. Are they gonna get it here? Yeah, okay. So we have you here, you here, you here. We'll do that right here. Did I block it all? So 3 damage gets through. We're trading. I think we might be alive still for one turn. Right. Decline. Dear Neptune. Okay. So we'll put that back. We'll put Undead Augur in. That might be enough to keep us alive. We'll have 2 blockers at least. No attacks. They're good gaming us. I'm wondering. We sacrifice this. Decline. We get to draw a card. Ooh, Hero's Downfall. Now we have a Zombo blocker who might keep us alive. We'll see though. It's a little intense. Because we now we drew into some more removal. Okay, I know this card. Definitely is a good game. I didn't realize I had haste too, but I had that in my Tovor deck too that I did a while ago. I don't know what this commander is. Naban, Dean of Iteration. Is that like a Strixhaven commander? I'm gonna keep this. What do you do, buddy? If a wizard entering the battlefield under your control causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Interesting. I think I'm going to go for the other black source on this one. I don't really care about like cracking the Evolving Wilds on their end step because it doesn't really give away information. Like, I don't know. I don't see the point in waiting. They already know what colors I got. Okay. Gonna just slow down whatever tactic they got going on. Since we have 2 pieces of removal here, I don't see the harm in using one of those to slow them down a little bit. Actually, they're pretty much all removable now that I look at it. Oops. Boop. So now we got Snarf Narf. Snarf Narf. And stuff to make them sacrifice stuff. So, yeah. I mean, they are mono blue, so they could have like a negate ready or something up, but I kind of don't have really a whole lot going for me here. I guess I'll just do this now. Okay. Let's put this little piper down. And turn. Okay. So putting their commander back down. And it's a 2 cost, right? They left it unprotected. So I think I can do this, right? And get a card draw off of it. Sorry, friend. This is probably really obnoxious. But I like having the board kind of open. Okay, and then I also get the card draw from that. So, going in for some damage. And I think I'm in a pretty good spot here, because blue won't be able to board wipe me at least. And they keep tapping on a lot of their mana. I know they have like 2 mana here that they could use for like a negate. But I kind of want to do this Eldest Reborn. At the very least, it might draw out like a counter spell. Oh, no counter spell in hand. Or at least not one that's 2. So we'll just swing in. And I think, like, worst case, we could, like, if we could get around them, we could just kill, like, our own creature, right? With this. Okay, yeah, I think we got it. Okay, Icon of Ancestry. Interesting. Okay. Well, they're sacrificing their only blocker, right? Or no, each opponent discards a card. Okay. I'm gonna put this down. And I feel like we just attack. We'll kill Morbid. Okay. Well, good game. Sorry I killed your commander so many times. GG's. Well, hope you had fun checking out what this wild, uncommon stuff was about. I don't know. It felt like it was a really good challenge for me, and kind of thinking outside the box a little bit with how I want to approach stuff, especially like problems on the board, where I think particularly with the Feign Death, and I forgot the other one was like Undying Menace or something like that, where it was those 1-drop instant speed spells that basically recur a creature and give it a +1/+1 counter when it comes back to the battlefield. I thought that was actually an interesting workaround, I guess, for if I needed like a blocker or like something to sacrifice, and maybe I needed like 1 extra counter or 1 extra damage to get through next turn. Like that was like an interesting way to keep the board state going, but also potentially build up certain creatures so that it, you know, that counter can make all the difference. So I think if I were gonna start from scratch again or do another deck like this, like adding in maybe some more of those effects, where like if that way like a board wipe happens, it's not totally blown out or anything, because it's like, oh crap, like how do I rebuild my board state? But yeah, so I had a lot of fun with this, and hope you thought it was a little bit interesting to watch. I obviously struggled with kind of the tougher commanders like Joda. A little hard to beat, like, you know, the omniscience coming out when you're like, I don't really have any removal for enchantments because I'm in black and blue and I have just Feed the Swarm. So there was just a few complications in that regard, but again, still a fun deck. I really like the zombie effects, and I kind of want to just try like a normal zombie deck that's not restricted to uncommons and commons only. But yeah, hope you had fun, and see you in the next one. Have a good one.